Good morning, ARMR Insiders. Welcome to another edition of the ARMR Morning Meeting. You're a virtual hedge fund portfolio manager. That's how you should look at your portfolio. Joining me on the desk to get ourselves ready for the trading session. We are going to go over where we are in the cycle of the risk monitor green signal. We put a lot of money to work 2 weeks ago. So what do we do from here as everyone else marks up the portfolio for us? We're going to go over top stocks to watch. I'm going to highlight for you one stock in the cannabis space. I talked about it last February. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. It is delivering. I want to be on record for what we're going to do next with this cannabis stock. To the highlighted stock of the day. The highlighted stock of the day is IIPR. I want to be on record. If I'm not already on record, I want to be on record that this is the single best way to play cannabis from here going forward. On a risk-adjusted basis. Sure, canopy growth might go up 75% in a day. It might. It's already wiped out that gain. There's going to be wild volatility in those types of stocks. But for a risk-adjusted portfolio, buying a REIT that owns farming properties for cannabis as the rules change is the single best way to play the cannabis story. Now, I shared with you, and I am on record, and you could see it on YouTube, that we were adding innovative properties to the ARMR dividend/invest portfolio last February, around $90 a share. Stock's trading at 113, 114 now. 113 now. Okay. And I said to you then, I'm doing this because I believe all the bad news is already in the stock. The risk reward is right down here. It's almost asymmetrical. I said to you back then, anything positive happens on the cannabis front, the stock's going up. And in the meantime, I'm going to collect a dividend yield, which was pretty stout. It was like over 8%. All right, I'll do it. Okay. I challenge you now to find for me an institutional quality liquid stock in the cannabis space that's taking out the high of the DEA day. Go ahead, put it in the comment section. I'd love to know what the stock is, and I'll happily debate it with you. I'm sure there's a couple names that are at new highs right now. Are they liquid? Do they trade on major exchanges? Can everybody buy them? Probably not. There's one name. Innovative Properties. It took out the high of DEA day yesterday. So here's what we're going to do on this trading desk. I'm going to tell you right now. There's going to be a day out there in the future where the news hits the tape that Innovative Properties is doing a secondary offer. Stock will be down 10 or 15% on the news. I suspect it will be wildly bullish for the stock and the entire space. What drives REITs is their ability to raise cash from institutions and then turn around and put that cash out into their particular niche so that they can increase the dividend over time. That's what drives stock price. Stock is flatlined recently. They got $20 million of cash in the balance sheet, and there's no bit. They're servicing their tenants. They're getting cash flow, but they can't raise new cash. Institutions don't want to do it, right? The reason the stock, I think, just took out the DEA news high is because the first thing that happens, the most important thing that happens with DEA rescheduling, forget about everything else. I know all the other stuff, but the first thing that happens is that all of the tenants of this company have a major cash flow infusion because they don't have to worry about IRS 280E. So their cash flow goes like this. So the risk on Innovative Properties cash flow currently has to be adjusted. That's why the stock's going up. There's not as much risk that they're going to get paid from their tenants. Their tenants are going to be able to pay in an easier way because their cash flow went up. That's the immediate impact of DEA. Everything else is in the future. What's immediate is that the tenants have more cash. So the risk is being adjusted and the stock's going up. We'll know that it's game on for cannabis. This is the most important thing for cannabis investors. We'll know it's game on for the whole space if this company could do a secondary offer. That'll be the single most important piece of information that you as a cannabis investor will see hit the tape in the coming weeks and months. Seriously. It won't be discussions of rescheduling and politics and all this other stuff. Because if they could do a secondary, it will tell you institutions are coming back to the table to invest in cannabis. This is the way institutions like to do it. Give a REIT a lot of cash, go buy property, do leaseback. So on that day, usually the stock drops, 10, 15%, because there's dilution when you put out new shares, right? And they'll announce it in the aftermarket. The market will close. They'll announce the secondary stock will be down in the aftermarket, and this desk will be buying the stock in the aftermarket down 10, 15%, whatever. I already have a big position. I'll be increasing my position because that'll really tell me that what I think is happening, the DEA and all these, we think those are good things. But until we see institutions really commit to the space again, it's just a bunch of retail guys chasing their tail on cannabis. That will be the watershed event. That's what I'm waiting for. So that's how I'm going to execute this. All right. So that's the cannabis couch for you. There's nothing new for us to do in the portfolio other than manage the success and day trade. I'll be in there day trading things like probably cannabis again because it's fun. CGC, I like to trade, and of course, triple the S&P will be doing. All right, everybody else, have a wonderful trading session. If you can't execute like this, if it's hard for you to put that capital to work 2 weeks ago, and you need our help, hey, get on the phone and call me. We'll find a way to work together so we can get you into that rhythm where you can then go look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm the smart money. Have a great trading session, guys.